Hi, kiddo. I hope I'm not too curious, but you really look like there's something on your mind. Hmm, that sounds pretty bad. Behind in life, is that like a book you're reading or something? Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that. So, what got you feeling like this? I mean, life is really full of opportunities every day, but is that like bad thing? Oh, right. And feels like everybody else has like a head start on the important things? Begs the question though, what important things are we talking about here? I mean, if you are right now finding out that you think that's important, then isn't starting right now just gonna be, you know, where you're at? I'm sorry, maybe I'm not getting this right. It just feels like no matter when you start something, some people are going to be ahead and some people are going to be behind. And even if everyone would start everything at the same time, that would still be true because of just how people work, you know? Yeah, I'm sorry. I can see how that could be rough. Well, God willing, I hope and believe that there's plenty of life left for you to do plenty of things, though. I mean, that's fair. If you had started on the important things 5 years ago, you would have been like 5 years ahead of where you start now. But that's just, um, you know what? You don't suppose I could answer this with an ancient myth of some kind? Nah, this is not from where I grew up. This is an actual ancient myth. Imagine an ancient king. He is out walking in the outskirts of his kingdom, dressed in royal attire, wearing his royal crown and royal scepter with a king's diamond encrusted in it. Yeah, looking generally filthy rich as kings would. And in the distance, he sees a bonfire. As he comes closer, he sees an old woman standing by the fire, holding 3 books. She's dressed in rags, and she meets his gaze sternly. Yeah, that's quite an unusual thing to happen to him, and it keeps being unusual. The woman says, I'm a seer who has spent my entire life writing these 3 books. One for you, and 2 more for the kings to come, detailing the most important things to happen during each of your reigns. And you are the king. I mean, understanding that he was a king did not require the gift of being a seer, to be honest, and he is not impressed by this. All he sees is a mad woman who speaks out of turn. But he is, at the very least, curious, and so she continues. Knowing all you need to know ahead of time makes for a great ruler, a great dynasty, even. If you buy these books from me, you and your kin will be the stuff of legend. Yeah, that is true. There's always a catch, isn't it? So here is her catch. If you refuse my prize, I will throw one of these books into the fire. But my price is very fair. All I ask is the royal scepter and the king's diamond. Yeah, you're quite right. The king will agree to no such thing, and he tries to explain to her that he is the king, and she is the weird woman in his way. She ought to simply give him the books and be happy that he lets her live at all. He really doesn't understand. So she throws one of the books into the fire, and as it burns, she says, "This is my second offer. If you refuse it, I will throw another one. For these 2 books that remain, I ask of you the royal scepter and the king's diamond." Yeah, he is not happy about that, and it really is a weird offer since he refused buying all 3 books for that price. Indeed, the king stares at her in disbelief and can hardly explain why he does not buy 2 books for the price of 3. Such thing is nonsense. So, what do you suppose she does? Exactly. And now, her final offer, the price stands. For the last single one of the books, she wants the royal scepter and the king's diamond. Now tell me, what is a wise choice for the king to make in this situation? Yeah, I think so too. And at long last, it happens. The king sees what it is he has before him, such a unique opportunity to help his reign to become something incredible. And he buys the last of the 3 books and becomes a king spoken of in myth and legend. So, what do you think of the king and his choices? Yeah, that would obviously have been so much better. I keep coming back to this story. Yeah, I think so many of our choices is that exact bargain. Okay, not that exact bargain, but more or less the ability to buy something that will have less value now than if we bought it yesterday. That's very often just how time works, how life works. Yeah, that could still be the best option, even though it obviously stings. A not quite as anciently long time ago, I wasn't a dad at all, and I looked around and felt like I was behind in life because so many of my friends were parents at the time, and I wondered if I was perhaps falling behind. It was definitely a feeling that I had for a while. I mean, looking back at it now, I didn't fall behind. I just needed that time to land in the decision. And becoming a dad, being your father, is the most important, monumental change in my life. It is hands down the best thing that I have ever chosen to do. Well, thank you. I love you. And the thing is, have I ever considered, even for a moment, to give all this up just because, hypothetically speaking, I might be better at this whole parent thing if I had started it a year earlier? Well, no, because that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Once you find something that is truly precious, important, and worthwhile, then you go for that, even if maybe it would have been better to do it sooner, or maybe some opportunity passed you by where you could have bought all 3 books. But if this is the chance you have and you know that is important, then go where your heart leads you. And let it be right, let it be wrong. Just try and have faith that one way or the other, you will be not behind and not ahead, just exactly where you are supposed to be, following your path. Thank you. I know, as advice goes, sometimes I'm more for the confusion than the straight answer. But I really do hope that you can find your own way, grow your own strength, and if it happens that you come to your own bonfire, you'll make a decision that you are ready to make, whatever that means. No matter what choice you do end up making, I believe in you. I'm here for you.